Thank you so much. I thought I heard a yes on my first call, so I thought that I am audible. Okay, so as I was saying, it was raining. We still decided to come here. So there has to be a commitment that we have made to ourselves to spend this time during the rains in this room. We heard of some very touchy and sensitive topics in the morning. Dr. Pawan Dugal spoke about cyber law. Mr. Sanjay spoke about the data governance. What I am going to be doing is that I'm going to be slightly taking it to the lighter side. I'm trying to take it to the lighter side. We all understand that, do you have my slides up? Can I have my slides up, please? Thank you. We all understand that data is the key. There was a time when there is a gentleman in the Indian industry who said, data is the new oil, right? I never agreed with the man. I still don't, because I don't consider data to be the new oil. And it's my personal opinion. It's nothing to do with Hitachi Vantara. My personal opinion is data is not the new oil. Data is the sun. Oil is an entity which can over a period of time end, but data lives on. Sun is a constant source of energy, and so is data. So that's the reason I say that data is the sun. Second, there is time that everybody was running, as Mr. Sanjay also alluded to, that data is the king. Everybody wants data. The richness of an organization or richness of any of the unicorns that we have right now is determined by that how much of data and how much of transactions that they're doing, which again is a data. So it's the data that everybody is talking about. So it was good to be data rich at one point in time, no longer. The time has moved from being data rich to be data driven. What do we mean by data driven? Deriving the competitive advantage to your businesses through data is being data driven. Deriving societal and the environmental impacts to the society that you are working with through the data is being data driven. Agree? Makes a lot of sense that being data driven is the future. Now, this is something that everybody knows about. This is something that you all see it day in and day out. I just wanted to put it pictorially here so that you could just appreciate what I'm saying. We all know that what has started to happen is that people have started to do remote working. This is the data which is through CNBC as the source, where it says that 87% of the people are remote working more right now. All the customers that you work with, any organization that you work with, you have your own customers, and the customers that we work with are the customers that we work with. They have an expectation to be available 24/7. How is that being driven? That is being driven through the digitization that we all are going through right now. And what is driving the digitization, and what is the core of that digitization? It's the data. We all know this, that it is the data driven that is going to get the advantage in the industry tomorrow. We all know this, that this is how it is happening, but why is it so difficult right now? Why has it become so difficult? We have had gentlemen from AWS also as part of the esteemed guest today. So now, let me just tell you, these are the changing marketplace and key trends that we look at right now. How many of you agree that to the statement that I'm going to be making is that cloud is not about simple and cheap, but cloud is about opportunity and challenge? Show of hands. Opportunity and challenge. Simple and cheap. See, nobody agrees it's simple and cheap. It's opportunities and challenges. What are the challenges? The challenges are that you have to go through those app migrations that you have to do. You have to go through the data migrations and follow the security and the management and all those steps. What is the opportunity? Your data becomes ubiquitous. Your data is available to you every time. You are able to access that data, and you're able to work on that data from the perspective, the way that you want to. There's nobody who's forcing you to use the data that is available at that point in time. With this, what also is happening is that this is exactly what I was talking to Mr. Sanjay before the whole of the event started. And we were speaking about and we were talking about that data is something which is going everywhere. And I'm still not talking about the unstructured data which is on your mobile. The unstructured data which is through the MPEGs and the JPEGs and everything that we have, whatever that we create. I'm talking about that how the enterprise data, by getting into the cloud, whether private, public, hybrid, I don't care. By getting into the cloud is getting distributed. In the terminology of the IT industry, we started to call that as edge data centers, right? So edge data centers is the reality today. Now, edge data centers is where all that data that is being consumed from a central repository is being distributed everywhere right now. So data is everywhere. And it's still not the unstructured data that we are talking about. We're talking about the enterprise data being everywhere. These are the challenges and these are the trends that we are noticing right now. And that is what is making the journey for the people to go get data-driven slightly difficult and slightly challenging. All of us do net banking, right? All of us do net banking. Everybody has an app on their mobile that we use, the net banking app or whatever app that we use. That app was developed by an ex-company who was servicing that bank and given to that bank to deliver to their customers and things like that. But do you understand that today in a bank, the number of technology people who are employed, and what are those technology people doing in that bank? The technology people in those banks today are either managing the APIs, are either managing the Dockers, the containers, writing new softwares. The bank is a software warehouse today, developing their own applications. Mr. Sethi would agree. When he was running that large manufacturing company as an IT head, the kind of IT team that he had just because they had to manage the SAP. So every company today, from the core, is becoming a software company, and that's a reality. So what that means is that there is going to be a data that is going to be generated more at that point in time. When that happens, what starts to happen, India has still not gone into that area so much, but India will get into that area very, very soon. How many in this room use AI or ML in their organizations? Show of hands. You guys do, right? How many of you employ them? How difficult or how easy is to get an AI ML resource in India right now? Right? It's my personal experience, so I am just sharing that personal experience. My wife is a head of computer science department in an engineering college. She has been trying to develop a blockchain project, blockchain delivery project. The only thing that she can do is research. There's none who is available who has delivered a blockchain delivery commercially in India. So that's the criticality. We spoke about blockchain as a law. We spoke about blockchain as something that will be used. Where are the sources? That lack of critical resources is going to be one of the challenges that we're going to be facing. And the other thing, it's very important for me to say this because I come from a company which makes storage and the enterprise storage, that most of us try and get to managing the storage without realizing that it is the data that we need to manage. The storage will manage itself. Let's focus on managing the data. So these are the challenges that we are seeing which make it difficult or which make it the management becomes slightly difficult for the person to move on to the data journey. It's a continued growth. The growth is happening fast. We all know this. And it is not only about the trend that we are doing, we are also very, very important to understand that what is happening across in terms of this, the way that it is expanding today. Today, if I look at India, enormous opportunity, enormous growth. But we need to be very, very aware about that what we are going through and what is it that is affecting us. Just a small slide. I'm not going to be talking too much about Apache Vantara today in my presentation. but as it is customary, just a small slide I'm just putting there, that what is Hitachi Vantara and what can we deliver to you guys? Or what does Hitachi Vantara deliver to the society in overall? Now, if you look at this, this is where we start. We start from the digital core, because anything that is data or whatever is at the core. Now, what is that core? That core could be any of the infrastructure that you have. Now, how do you modernize that core to be able to take you to the next journey of being data-driven is one thing that we participate in. Second thing what we do is that where is the data platform getting collected from? Where is the data coming from? How is that data getting ingested into the system? How is that data getting analyzed into the system and then being portrayed as a presentation layer? So and what fabric is it all working on is when we talk about optimizing the data fabric. We also talk about the application modernization, and when we are talking about application modernization, we are talking about application migration, we are talking about making sure that the applications which are there, and so the practices that we normally do are Oracle practices, we have some cloud practices, Vishwajit just left the room, we are an AWS Gold partner, so we do all that stuff also. So that's the totality of Hitachi Vantara. While Hitachi Vantara is known primarily as a storage company, but this is what Hitachi Vantara really is. So Hitachi Vantara, and just to give you a brief about this, in India, after the various acquisitions that we have done, we are today approximately 3,500 people in India. That's the strength that Hitachi Vantara today has with these centers in Bangalore, Pune, Calcutta, and yeah, right now these three centers. These are the three centers we operate out of. Where do we draw all this experience from? At the center of all this, Hitachi Limited, I'm sure that some of you would have faced Hitachi or seen Hitachi as a consumer appliance, or used the Hitachi engines, or used the Hitachi rail, or Hitachi Energy. ABB is a Hitachi company, for example. Let me just give you that also as one of the input. So ABB is an Hitachi company. So we are 80 companies today. It's a conglomerate, 800 companies with $80 billion plus revenue. We are a conglomerate of 80 companies. I come from Tata, so I still have that 87 as the number etched in my mind, because 87 is the number of Tata companies. So 800 companies as far as Hitachi is concerned, $80 billion conglomerate, and we draw the experience because we are a customer to us, ourselves. So we draw all that experience, and that flows through to Hitachi Vantara, and that's what gets delivered to our customers in return. Give you an example, we acquired a company called Global Logic. Global Logic was acquired by us, and Global Logic brings in that software powerhouse within Hitachi Vantara. We participate, Hitachi Energy, ABB, I just said that ABB is the company that we acquired, the distribution of that, so Hitachi Energy becomes this thing, so we know that how does the transmission, how do the meshes and everything work, and that's what we deliver it back to the people. We work very, very closely with Ericsson and the other mobile providers to provide the research on 5G. We work very, very closely with that on 5G. So with all that put together, that's something that we are ready to provide to our customers, to our partners, and to make sure that we are driving this society which is data-driven. And not only that, this is the tagline for Hitachi Vantara. You will not believe this, but let me just tell you that all my corporate people based out of San Jose, all my CIOs, whatever C that you can call them, CXOs, all my CXOs, they have two measures. We call that as double bottom line. So we all are measured on double bottom line. Number one bottom line, definitely the dollar. The number two bottom line, what is the impact that you as an individual or you as a unit have made to the society, to the environment, and to the nation that you're serving. Powering good is a tagline that Hitachi Vantara lives by. We always give back to the society that we are. I will just tell you some examples here. These are some of the customers that we have won together, and one of the customers, Government of Andhra Pradesh. We have a video that we will show you post my presentation on that Government of Andhra Pradesh. So I will not dwell more into Government of Andhra Pradesh, but I will talk about two. How many of you use Daily Hunt or News Hunt? You use Daily Hunt, News Hunt. So that's the platform that runs on Hitachi Vantara. What are we doing? We are touching each individual through the data, and we are providing that information to you to be consumed the way that you want to consume, so that you are able to drive whatever that you want to drive as an output or an outcome of that one. But very, very important, one thing that I want to highlight here is this. This one. Optimize Prime. It's a conglomerate of various organizations put together, led by Hitachi Vantara from the technology perspective. It's Uber, Royal Scotland, then one or two more banks. It's based in UK, and UK Energy and UK government. So what is this organization about? This organization is an organization which is predicting the draw on the power grid when the number of EVs go to an X number. So by 2030, if the number of EVs go to an X number, so what is the kind of power generation that needs to be done to make sure that the grids don't fail? So that's one small example that we work with in terms of making the societal impact and to the society. Environmental impact, you see this last one, the rainforest connection. Rainforest connection, again, it's an initiative by Hitachi Vantara. There is AHA also on that, but I will focus on rainforest environment. So Rainforest Connection is an initiative wherein what we're basically doing, we all are aware that there is a huge amount of deforestation that is happening, and one of the reasons for deforestation is that the trees are being cut indiscriminately, and people are just using that logging and doing stuff on that one. So what happened was that Hitachi Vantara, along with its partners, went ahead and established some of the cameras and the sensors in the Amazon. So I will just take the example of Amazon here. So they put some sensors in Amazon forest. What they started to do was that they started to pick up the audio signals from there. Those audio signals were picked up, and those audio signals were used to analyze and to predict. The response time there was approximately 15 hours for anybody to go and stop that thing happening. That response time of anybody reaching at the time of the logging that is happening and the cutting of the trees that is happening, that got reduced to approximately 3 hours. So what we were able to do was that we were able to save forests from being cut indiscriminately. So that's the way that we are giving it back. I'm not talking about the metros and things that we do, but that's something we do. And this is almost my last slide, wherein we are talking about that we all are aware that it is not only from the perspective of being data-driven, but data-driven being data-driven in specific areas. So for example, you're doing data-driven customer engagements, you are launching data-driven products, you're doing data-driven ecosystems, you have a data-driven IT. The future belongs to all of us. The future belongs to all of us, and all of us are responsible to make sure that we take that right step to get to where we are being data-driven, and we are talking about the future of being data-driven and accelerating that transformation within ourselves. Thank you so much.